Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the depreciation of vehicles and why the game of Gran Turismo, one of the best driving simulation games ever made by Sony. This game has the vehicles that tend to hold the value more. All the vehicles that you see in this game, I believe like 90% of them tend to hold the value after 10 years. Usually vehicles that have been mass produced, it takes longer for them to hold the value. But if a vehicle was produced with a number less than 10,000 or around 10,000, no more than 50,000, you could say, those that tend to hold the value, and the lower production numbers, the more they hold the value. And most of the cars in this game that you see in this game, you could buy the game, check it out. They're cars that are seeked by collectors, most of them. Some they have productions in the high numbers. Some they have production very low numbers, like under 20. And those are the ones that the people seek, the collectors seek the most. Um, for example, when you go into the game menu and you go into the cars, used car sales, they will sell you cars that you go, wow, how cheap these cars are. But these cars, when they came out, like this one in 1987, 1990, 1998, 1965. This car right now, for example, if you find one in excellent condition with low mileage, this car, it would be like probably 10 times what it was worth back in 1965 or more, depending on the condition of the vehicle. They made a bunch of these, I believe, but since it's from 1960s, usually it takes like around over 10, 20 years or more for a vehicle that was mass produced, like with a production number of over 10, 20,000, to see a value on it. Uh, Usually these vehicles take a while because the numbers start like disappearing. Sometimes you buy a vehicle and the first 5 years, the vehicle depreciates a lot. Even if the vehicle was made in low numbers of 10, 10, 20,000. But as the years progress, these vehicles, the less this in the market, and if the demand by collectors goes up, these vehicles start going up in value. An example, I used to own a Pontiac GTO 2005, and this vehicle is not in the game, but probably going to add it later on in the game. In the past versions of Gran Turismo, it was there. I believe in Gran Turismo 5, 6, I think it was there. The Pontiac 2005 GTO or the 2004, which is similar but with a smaller engine. Usually the collectors they seek the one with the 6.0. The other one has a 5.7, 5.8, I believe. But the 6.0 version of it, the 2005, 2006, it was made for 3 years, a vehicle, the Pontiac GTO. And since Pontiac went out of business, those vehicles started going up in value a lot more. So right now, if you find a 2005, 2006 Pontiac in excellent condition, those vehicles are selling for almost twice as much as they cost back then in 2005, 2006, which is the last year. A lot of people are seeking the 2006 because it was the last year, and usually collectors they like better to collect the last year of the vehicles, most of them. The same thing with the Supra. I don't see it here, but the Toyota Supra, the GTRs, some BMW, a lot of Porsche vehicles, Tuscan Speed 6 2000. Those are collectibles. The RX-7, the McLaren 09, those were produced in low numbers. The Imprezas, the Subaru Imprezas, those are collectible. The old classic BMW from the 80s, like this one right here. I like it in black. That one has only 52,000 miles. Yeah, that's pretty low mileage, you could say, for a 1989 vehicle. And now he's going for 165,000 credits. That vehicle back then probably was like around $20,000, maybe 30,000 back in the 80s. So now it's worth like, you could say, a lot more if you kept it in good condition. And the Trans Ams, of course, if you see one in perfect condition, it's going to be worth its money. Yeah, a lot of things depend on the demand. Like Hondas, they have a really high demand, especially this one, the Honda S2000. Ooh, a lot of collectors seek for that one, and the Integra also. Those are two highly collectible vehicles and seek by collectors. Uh, all depends on the production number, the condition of the vehicle. That's what matters, you know. Like if you see the list of vehicles that I have right here, I'm going to show it to you in the car value service. These are the list of the vehicles I have, you know. And all these vehicles, except the race cars, you know, race cars also go value up in value, but I'm talking about the public cars, the cars that were made for the regular public, for street driving, you could say. Uh, Most of them, they're highly collectible. You know, this Corvette right here, beautiful car, beautiful car. I don't know how many they made back in 1950s, 1958, but if it's a first edition or one of the first made, depending on what the big number says, usually by the big number you can know what production the vehicle was. It's worth more money. You got Lamborghinis, Audis. And sometimes you see a little crappy car, and that car is worth now like 10, 20 times what it used to be worth. But like I said, you know, the production numbers, the condition of the vehicle, all that matters. The history of the vehicle, that matters too. Doesn't matter how many owners did he had, but if he has low mileage, good history, never got an accident or anything like that, you got yourself a collector's item. So that's all I wanted to say. I hope you enjoyed the video about Gran Turismo and other collectible vehicles that you can see in Gran Turismo. And I hope you subscribe if you want and like. And if you want to comment, it's okay too. Go ahead and comment. Thank you.